This is Artie Astor from episode 16 of You Tell Me. And I don't know, this is something that this is a very interesting interview. Of It's Dick Cavett. He's interviewing Paul Simon about songwriting and about making stuff up and about what you put in your songs and how you tell a story and everything else. And something Paul Simon says that makes me want to ask you, the viewer, a question. Because I think that it is a very common songwriting technique that is used today that not everybody knows happens, although in some songs it's obvious. And I'll tell you in a second why those songs are obvious. But that is what episode 16 of You Tell Me is about: Paul Simon being interviewed by Dick Cavett.
But it seems to me an awful lot of, in the lyrics, a lot of unfaithful girls and girls who never write and never answer letters. Did you have an unusual number of problems like that? Or is that not yourself?
No, I don't. Is that really true?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I lied a couple of times in the songs.
Yeah.
I assumed a person
Yeah.
that I wasn't. I pretended to be someone else.
All right, so it seems interesting, and Paul Simon is almost kind of being coy just by his facial expressions, in my opinion, and the way he's responding to Dick Cavett. But he says something that I've done as a songwriter in a lot of my music. He says something interesting. He says, maybe I lied, maybe I assumed a person or a role, right? And you get that in a lot of music, like Sting, when he wrote the song Roxanne. There was no lady of the night with the name Roxanne. He made that up. And there are a lot of people who make up characters. Roger Waters has done it with his music. Paul McCartney has done it with his music. Some characters are made up, but they're based off of other things that are happening in life. And I think Dolly Parton's version of events was interesting because her husband was a banker and he was flirtatious, and she saw girls reacting to him. And what was interesting was she liked the name Jolene and then took the name Jolene and attributed it to someone who was flirtatious and very beautiful with her husband and created a song out of it. So it's not based 100% on truth, but a lot of songs aren't. And the reason why I said it's sometimes obvious that some songs are not based on truth is because if you listen to a lot of outlaw country or Southern Gothic, there's a song by the Heavy Horses that I think is really interesting because he comes home from battle and finds out that his wife and daughter are deceased, that someone had killed them. And what's really interesting is then he talks about how he himself goes on this spree of revenge and exacts justice from the people who perpetrated this act. And he himself kills people who hurt his family. But that didn't happen in real life. If it did, he'll be confessing to a crime, which, interestingly enough, has actually happened in the music world. That's a topic for another day. So here's the question that I want you to tell me. When you find out that someone named Roxanne didn't really exist, when you find out that musicians sometimes lie or make up characters in their songs, that their songs are not real, the characters are not real, when you find that out, does it take anything away from the music? Are you bothered at all by that? Or do you just appreciate that they're telling a story? Even if the story is fictional, do you still appreciate that it's just a story? And you can appreciate it from the storytelling aspect of the song. Because there are songs that are based on truth, the Edmund Fitzgerald and Hurricane by Bob Dylan, and those songs have a certain meaning to them because they're biographical. But other songs aren't. They're just made up. Like Paul Simon says here, he lied, right? Does that take anything away from the story? Does it take anything away from the song? You tell me, tell me, tell me.